Hello everyone, this is Threadfall bringing you another Atari game, and while we were on games, the concept of games with music that I rather like, it's kind of hard to pass up Dragonriders of Pern. Dragonriders of Pern is mainly known as a series of novels from fairly prolific writer Anne McCaffrey. Let's go to the thing. One player, standard game, slow speed. Sounds good enough. Start. We'll play as Bendon, because why would you not play as Bendon? One depth to keep the thread fighting or get too nasty. Okay, start. Let's make it not too long. Okay, so the basic concept of this game is it's mostly a diplomacy negotiating thing, so if you sit here and do nothing, things just go on their own. You have these 6 weirs. Yeah, weir should be pronounced like that to rhyme with things like here and fear and whatever. Anne McCaffrey liked to include brief poems at the beginnings of her chapters, and weir was constantly rhymed like that, or consistently. So at any point, you can press the button to get into your menu here. You can get subscriptions of the various holds, which were basically the cities of Pern. The craft halls are basically the skilled workers guilds. So what you can do is you pick one, you get a description of them. So the Master Harper, head of the Harper's Hall. Horrified by Thread, frustrated dragon rider, strong anarchic tendencies. That's interesting. Tends toward moderation, is an honorable, trustworthy fellow, currently indifferent. So what we can attempt to do is, no, someone else is negotiating with the Harper Hall at the moment. So let's pick someone else. Let's say the Hero Hall. Dreads Threadfall, mistrust of power, predisposed towards violence, but is honorable and trustworthy. So let's try forceful if he likes violence. Every so often, Thread will fall. Thread is a menacing thing from the skies that falls on Pern. If it reaches the ground, it consumes anything organic it touches. So that's what the Dragonriders of Pern's main job is. When Thread falls, the Dragon Riders head out on their dragon, which breathe fire to sear the thread out of the sky and keep it from reaching the ground. The dragons are large, they fly, they're telepathic with the riders and each other. They can teleport, they call that going between. Oh, the Master Harper died. That could be a thing. All sorts of weird things can happen during the negotiation diplomacy phase. So basically the point of this is you're trying to negotiate with the various holds and craft halls to get alliances and raise the reputation of you, which ends up giving you points. You can do negotiations, of course. You can do things like set up weddings that you can attend. If you have dragons hatching, you can invite people to view that. And if Thread falls, you send dragons to fight it, and if you do well, they like that. If Thread is coming and you don't do something fairly quickly by pressing a button, one of the other weirs will jump in. You can play this single player with 5 computer controlled weirs. You can do 2 player with 4 computer controlled. There's a successful negotiation between Telgar Weir and Telgar Hold. Yeah, it's not the most exciting game as far as those goes. I'd prefer if you could, kind of accelerate the whole negotiation phase, or do it as like a turn-based kind of thing where you just enter things in and then let it roll out. It's a fairly slow-paced game at this point, which probably a lot of that is hardware limitations, but I'm just kind of fascinated that there is a game at all. Pern, I don't know how well known it is in general, but I don't think I've seen any other Dragonriders of Pern game at all. Definitely not a movie adaptation. There might be some animation. Anyway, Dragonriders of Pern is one of those things that I would love to see a movie out of it if it's done well, but I'm worried that it wouldn't be done well, so it's almost better that we don't have a movie. I've seen a lot of books get movie adaptations that are they're just not good. Anyway, I think I'm going to fast forward to this until we get to the end of the turn, which turns is what they call their years. It's also appropriate for a game context, being as it's a turn of events. In any case, I'm going to fast forward this and see you when we get to the thread fighting stage. I think there's something that lets you go full speed. There. Okay. So, at the end of the turn, there are victory points for the things you did. I didn't do any actual negotiation or anything else, so 0 for me. High Reaches, Igen, and Telgar all have 2 points. 0 thread-infested holds, which is the way you want things to go. So, now we're ready to fight thread. We have our dragon here. You can tilt up and down. If I are fighting with more layers, up and down will let you fly more into the foreground or background. That is one of the things with this game, is I'm not really sure how you're meant to tell which layer you're on. The dragon wraps around the screen. I don't think that's supposed to be a teleportation thing. I think that's supposed to be a game convenience thing. Okay, when you get hit, what you're supposed to do is press the spacebar to go between. Between is basically a nothingness void between here and there. It's absolute 0, no sound, no sight, no touch, no anything. It's basically sensory deprivation and sheer cold. So what it does is, by going in between, you freeze the thread off and keep your dragon from dying. This basically goes until the thread stops falling. There's a little delay before you can breathe fire, because otherwise it would be a little too easy to just spam. Standard video game stuff. Yeah, so you can see with one depth of thread, it's not that complicated. There's the thread fighting assault. We have the weirs listed, killed, wounded. I didn't do that well. I had 12 dragons dead, 26 wounded. Didn't do a good enough job of dodging thread and ducking between to not get hit by them. It looks like we have threads in a number of holds, which is a bad thing. In the actual stories, they have ground crews that go out with flamethrowers and burn anything that lands. But in the game, that's kind of abstracted out of relevance, I guess. Yeah, this keeps going until you go through the allocated number of turns, and then whoever has the most points, of course, wins. Yeah, this has been Felon playing the Dragonriders of Pern game for Atari. And come back next time and we'll have something else that's kind of strategic, has some memorable music. And I'll see you then.